Daniel here for Badcock Home Furniture More. In this video, we talk about the differences between a chest freezer versus an upright freezer, and that video starts right now. Daniel here with Badcock Home Furniture More with another comparison video. What's the difference between an upright freezer and a chest freezer? And we're just going to walk you right through it. Don't forget, by the way, each of these freezers that we talk about today is eligible for the Protect It plan. So ask your sales associate about Protect It. Let's take a look real quick at the pros and cons of an upright freezer. I'll let you capture that on your own there in the video, but we'll walk right through it too. So we're going to talk about the upright freezer first, and I've got right here in front of you a 15 cubic foot chest freezer and a 16 cubic foot upright freezer, and they're pretty similar. But let's take a look. This guy's on wheels, so I'm just going to roll them out of the way while I open this guy up real quick. So upright freezer, pros and cons. The pros of an upright freezer is that the foods are easier to access because it pretty much, the shelves, just like in your refrigerator, stores your food so that you don't worry about what's on the bottom and you're not just stacking everything on top of it. It's a little bit easier to organize, so more organization. Accessories, you saw that in the slides, shelves on the door here, a basket down in the bottom, and available accessories as well. They're a little bit easier to clean. They take up less floor space, and they have the auto defrost, or that's why we refer to this as a frost-free with the auto defrost feature available on all of the ones that we offer here in the Badcock Home Furniture and More stores. The cons on that side of it, larger items may be harder to organize in your upright freezer. Deer hunters and big game hunters, might be harder to get the bigger pieces in. Larger items, harder to organize, not as energy efficient, and look, you can see why. Let me roll the chest freezer back into, am I back in the picture here, JC? So let me show you. If you don't know how physics works, by the way, when I open the door to this freezer, the cold air that is literally right here goes boom straight to the ground, right? But on a chest freezer, when I open this up, cold air goes down. So in other words, it's just staying down there. Maybe a little bit of the cold air on the top will spill out, but by and large, most of the cold air is just going to stay inside of it. And so that's why these are just a little bit more efficient. I'll give you some specs on that in a minute. Not as energy efficient on the upright freezers. Usually higher priced, almost always higher priced, and on average have a shorter lifespan. And if you're wondering why does the upright have a shorter lifespan than the chest freezer, it's because this guy has defrost technology in it, heater coils, more components, more electricity stuff, more parts inside of this freezer than are in this freezer, which tends to last about 5 years longer than this guy would. Same capacity. Or same, I guess, cubic foot just about in both of these. So let's talk about the chest freezer real quick. And I've got another slide here, and I'll put it up in front of the camera so you can see it. But just some things I wrote up here, the pros and cons of a chest freezer. So let's take a look at that. The chest freezer is the one we're talking about here, more storage capacity. Generally speaking, I guess they would say you can get more in the chest freezer. It's more energy efficient for the reason that I showed you a moment ago about how the cold air spills out. And then also I think you get a better seal around the top of a closing chest freezer than you do around the sides of an upright freezer. This keeps your food fresh longer in a power outage. So if the power goes out, this guy's going to stay, as long as you keep this guy closed, he's going to keep your frozen stuff frozen longer. Generally speaking, a longer lifespan by about 5 years. Foods, this is the cons. Foods are harder to access. So if you got a bunch of stuff in here all stacked on top of each other, a lot of times the major con or disadvantage of the chest freezer is the stuff on the bottom gets forgotten about. That's true. So, but if you have stuff that you're storing long term, that may not matter. Fewer organization accessories. In the case of this Frigidaire 15 cubic foot, it's going to come with these two baskets, which kind of helps out with that objection. They're a little bit harder to clean because this does not defrost itself. This is what's sometimes referred to as a manual defrost. In other words, get your hammer and chisels in there and get the frost buildup out of it yourself. Is what they mean by manual defrost. And it takes up, obviously, more floor space. So I think that's kind of an obvious difference there. So the differences kind of outweigh each other. It depends on what your needs are. And we want to offer more videos like this, helping you compare and decide and know before you go shopping at your local Badcock Home Furniture More. Right now, I've got both of these freezers here on the floor. Come check them both out with me. I'm Daniel here at Badcock. Today I'm in Adel, but we have stores in Moultrie, Ashburn, Adel, Nashville, and here in Lakeland now. In our upcoming video, we're going to talk about the difference between a side-by-side refrigerator and a French door refrigerator, and we've got more like this. If you enjoyed this video or you find these kinds of videos informative and helpful, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. We're going to have updates on our sale and updates on new tutorial videos similar to this one. So thank you again for joining us here on our Badcock Home Furniture More store YouTube channel. And while you're at it, why don't you check out this next video?